Hello everyone, it's Tania Gabrielle here, Wealth Astrology Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. Today we're going to cover another eclipse, the second of two. We are in eclipse season, and this is the full moon eclipse that involves the moon in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer, happening on July 16th. Now, the full moon is a culmination. It's when all the energy that began with the new moon eclipse on July 2nd comes to a head. So it's usually more emotional. And in this case, we have so much going on around this eclipse. In general, July is just jam-packed. Now, why is this particular eclipse so important? Well, with the moon in Capricorn, we're really inaugurating the final stretch, moving into our big event in early January that happens in Capricorn and will impact us for the next year. So it's like a 1.5 year stretch with the North Node and South Node currently in Cancer and Capricorn. And that's why we have the eclipses in those signs right as we're approaching this big event in Capricorn in January. So it's pretty unprecedented. So having an actual event happen, a full moon eclipse in Capricorn, is a big deal, and we need to pay attention. And of course, you don't need to be a Capricorn or Cancer to actually benefit or get impacted. Everyone is impacted. Now, this is a lunar eclipse, and it's asking you to make sensible decisions with Capricorn involved. So paying attention to timing, following through on your commitments, and dedicating yourself to accomplishment. If Capricorn stands for anything, it is the ability to take the lead, fulfill your responsibilities, and focus on success and accomplishment. So we're going to cover many things today. Several planetary transits, of course, that happen during the eclipse itself, the 24-degree placement of the sun and moon in Capricorn and Cancer, and what you will be focused on in order to lead with confidence, generate achievement, generate success over the next 6 months, because eclipses, after all, leave a 6-month impact on us, whereas full moon and new moon leave a month-long impact. So this is really important. As usual, we're going to end with really great tips, and so we're going to be covering a lot in this episode. Now, this eclipse is really about taking your goals to the next level. We're all being uplifted vibrationally. This is a huge time in human history for so many reasons that I mentioned many times. This is really an extraordinary time. And since Capricorn governs your career and your divine mission, you're focusing on what your destiny is in this lifetime. And so you'll want to know what you're signed up to do, right? And that is revealed in your birth certificate name. And I've created a free masterclass where you literally can go in and discover what your destiny is based on the letters of your birth name. Go to starcodeclass.com. You're going to get a lot more than just your destiny number, because we're going to look at your birthday numbers as well. But this free masterclass is integral to really taking your own understanding of who you are at soul level to the next high vibrational place that it needs to go. So you can discover all about your star code and your destiny at starcodeclass.com. Now, the lunar full moon eclipse in Capricorn is a partial eclipse. It is not a total eclipse like the July 2nd new moon, but because of the signs of where it's happening, it is going to still leave a very big impact, because it is basically an intensified shift that we're moving through. So let's look at Capricorn first. Capricorn puts your focus on your future security. So it's about reaching your goals to achieve recognition for what you do. Success. So your management skills grow because you have to literally plan out, which Capricorn is good at. It's governed by Saturn, the timekeeper, Chronos, and you need to have a timeline, a map in place so you can see how you are committed to stepping into authority every step of the way. And so during this time, you are also focusing on financial security, security in general, Whereas Cancer is emotional security, the opposite sign where the sun is, Capricorn is career security, financial security. So you approach situations and make decisions that provide security for the future. And this is also because the North Node and South Node are in Cancer and Capricorn. So this is really about being mature. And in a new way, though. Why is it a new way? Why is it not the old way? Like, saving money and retiring, and, the old system is gone. We're not living that way. The reason that that's dissipating is because Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, and Pluto dissolves. Pluto purges. Pluto's saying that time is over. You need to find what you love to do until the last breath you take. You don't want to just, abdicate feeling like you can give something to your communities, contribute in some way. Capricorn wants to contribute. So this is a very important time to see that the timelines of before, where we are into work until age 65 or whatever it is, and then retire and, play golf, whatever it is people do. I mean, I can't even imagine a life like that. Those times are over. So you're making a commitment to your divine mission now. And so you have the energy to recognize and pursue opportunities much more than usual. So you got to keep an eye out for those opportunities, because your focus on your career, your work, your divine mission, whatever you want to call it, your focus on accomplishment, your focus on recognition, achieving your goals. Those are the key themes now. Okay. So being in charge, following protocol. It's not that you abdicate and go your own way. That's sort of Aquarius Uranian energy, you just say, to heck with it, I'm doing it my way. This is still following a kind of a step-by-step protocol, but you're more engaged, far more engaged in what that protocol is, right? So you're delegating responsibility, and that's part of leadership. Now, there's a healthy self-respect that comes with this, along with a respect for others in all situations. This is very, very important. Capricorn does create boundaries. So Capricorn understands, where everything is in its place. And Capricorn governs mentorship and authority figures, and actually father figures, where Cancer governs mother, and the nurturing side, Capricorn, is the other side of that, right? So acquiring a mentor during this time, or being a mentor to others, and helping your students to maintain direction, and doing so through discipline in order for you or them to fulfill their goals. That's what mentorship provides, right? So now, you may take the more conservative route at times, having respect for the traditional approach with Capricorn. But like I said, it's dissolving at the same time. And this is why the times we live in have a sense of uncertainty. Uncertainty brings change. And so, yes, there is a paradox of following traditional approaches. At the same time, we're breaking them down. So this is good news, though, because it's allowing you to really figure out, well, does this work for me? Is this timeline right for me? Is this way of doing things, the good old way of doing things, does it work for me or not? So the shadow side of Capricorn is to be aware of having a compulsive need to take credit, or a compulsive need to be in control. So you definitely want to be aware of that. Or it's also being too serious, too stern, too full of, whatever the ideas that's in your mind, and having to share that, or not laughing, no humor, lack of joy, lack of fun, just being like working a lot. Capricorns really like to get things done, and that's obviously a good thing. We all need to be doers in our life. There has to be a balance. So you want to guard against being inflexible, or being even pessimistic, or self-justifying in a limited, inflexible approach, right? Where you justify why you're inflexible and have your boxes lined up with everything in its place. All of that needs to be looked at in a more positive way. So instead, what you want to do is welcome new approaches that enable you to reach your goals more easily. And that allows you this flexibility and open-mindedness, which Capricorn is not so known for, right? The ability to actually see the big vision. That's where we're going with this. And I'm just going to throw in here, Jupiter will be entering Capricorn at the end of the year in December and will be there for a year. And eventually Jupiter will conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. And when that happens, the optimism next year in 2020 is going to go through the roof. So there is a beautiful place we're heading as we are recalibrating and taking ownership right now, right? So just keep that in mind. There's these ebbs and flows where things change, and then there's a huge celebration moment, and that actually is in the stars next year. Now, you want to also take this time with Capricorn lit up by the eclipse to heal any rifts with mentorship figures, authority figures, your father, whatever it is. You're going to feel very empowered if you do that and not put yourself in a diminished role. So it's almost like a role reversal, but it's actually a balancing out where you confront those issues, but in a gentle way, and deep healing can really happen. This is also a time to be very, very constructive and optimistic about shifting your life into a place where you feel like you're manifesting in a positive way. So that means you do need to work diligently on your goals, but the goals themselves need to now be truly positive. If they don't feel like they're lighting you up from the inside and bringing a big smile on your face, because there is hard work involved with any manifestation process, right? You must not only be patient about when those positive outcomes appear, because they take time. Chronos, Saturn, right, ruler of Capricorn, they take diligence, they take discipline, but they will undoubtedly appear if you apply yourself in a steady, responsible way, okay? Now, this full moon eclipse takes place at 24 degrees Capricorn Cancer, with the moon in Capricorn, the sun in Cancer, and 24 degrees is actually aligned with Cancer. 24 2 plus 4 reduces to 6. 6 looks like the pregnant woman, and it literally is a mother bearing a child, raising a child. So it's parenting, actually. It takes two, but the mother carries the child. So the actual figure of the 6 is about nurturing, love. It governs home business. It governs everything to do with what Cancer is. So 24 degrees is an important degree number as we learn to nurture what brings us joy and what allows us to feel like we're contributing something worthwhile. And of course, anybody who has children knows that that's our biggest career, job, whatever you want to call it, is once you bear a child and you give birth, that's your number one priority no matter what. So this is exactly what Capricorn is like too. So that's how these signs interact with each other, is the nurturing, the responsibility, and not to forget self-nurturing as well in the process. Because just like when you're on a plane and the flight attendant says, well, make sure you as a parent put your mask on first, because otherwise you're not going to be around to help your child. Same thing goes with self-nurturing, because if you're not in a good place, in a positive place, in a peaceful, calm place, then you will be in reactionary mode with your children and with everybody else, right? This isn't just about parents and children. This is in general, right? That we need to make sure that we have that self-nurturing in place. Now, let's go to the transits during the eclipse, because there's lots to share. First, we're going to look at what the sun and moon are doing. And there's big news here. The moon is conjunct Pluto. So Pluto and Saturn are coming together in Capricorn. That's going to be exact in January, with the sun and Mercury joined in the celebration. It's a huge stellium. And now the moon is conjuncting in this eclipse Pluto. Now, it's a full moon eclipse, which means the moon is being eclipsed. So if it's next to Pluto, you're going to feel deep emotional purging. So there's something that is buried in your subconscious, which Pluto represents. And through your intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities, which are greatly heightened with this conjunction, you're going to get visions, dreams about where to head. So you're getting emotionally empowered at the same time you're getting emotionally purged. So it doesn't mean it's always easy, but if you understand it in advance, and it's already happening now because eclipses don't just happen the day of, it's a building up process, then know that you're transcending your feelings through a sense of breathing relaxation that allows you then to release. Just like when you give birth, you need to breathe. It's this unresolved energy that needs to be looked at and healed. So purging emotions creates deep healing. Guard against being aggressive or wanting to stay in control of your emotions. This is happening in Capricorn, which is a sign of wanting to control. So just be open, not resistant to any kind of change, and definitely listen to your intuition. This is so important when Pluto and the moon come together. Your intuition is a carrier of wisdom. It's like the carrier pigeon that comes from Source, the universe, God, and brings you answers, your guides. It's all there for you. So allow those underlying truths to be revealed. Emotionally, Pluto's empowering you. That's what Pluto does. Once it purges, you get empowered. You make room for the confidence to soar. And so we have a really great opportunity to be authentically, totally in integrity, transcend our feelings by opening our mind, opening our heart to the truth. Pluto likes to get to the truth. It is the ruler of Scorpio, and it has the stinger, and it'll go where it needs to go and uncover what it needs to uncover. So this conjunction with the eclipsed moon is empowering you to move forward in those areas of life. And because it's an eclipse, it may take you a little bit to figure out what those areas are, because obviously the moon is eclipsed, so you won't necessarily see right away what that truth is, but your intuition will reveal it to you. Now, the sun, of course, is opposite Pluto during this eclipse, the sun in Cancer, and that allows you to, first of all, tune into your inner light. And the changes that are a major part of this opposition are being healed by surrender. So bringing things into harmony will happen because you surrender to the truth, and that raises your vibration and expands your inner light, which is the sun, and you reach a much deeper level and secure level of fulfillment. That is the end result. So it's a wonderful way to see how your life is positively transforming. And where's the transformation headed? Well, you're invested in success with Capricorn. And so it's heading to taking that leadership and enabling those positive shifts to happen. Now, a full moon is about balance. It's about understanding that we have priorities in life and that we need to move forward and bring everything into a place of equilibrium and harmony so that we're not swayed or feeling unsettled and making decisions from that place, right? We need to just, again, bring the emotions into balance again. So every full moon has that in common. This is an eclipse, so it's even more powerful. And what's wonderful is there are other planetary meetups that are helping us with this. So the first is Saturn sextile Neptune, which is one of the big transits in 2019, one of the beautiful big transits. It's very much about unusual spiritual experiences, investing in everything that's beautiful, refocusing on your spiritual gifts and making them real. Saturn wants to implement. Neptune is spiritual service. This is a beautiful sextile to have with the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, in the midst of a Capricorn eclipse. So this is a great time for you to expand your understanding of other cultures, or even anything to do with your belief system, and expand your understanding of your own timeline, your own personal cycles that start on your birthday, right? It's a fantastic time to get that awareness for yourself, and then the big galactic awareness that Neptune brings into the fold, and just see your place in the universe and accept it as something that must be and must happen, and was a a mission that you signed up for, right? You're becoming very clear about that now. And so you understand your purpose on a deeper meaning now, because your fulfillment is merging with your understanding of what your divine mission is. Your fulfillment itself is dependent on you manifesting your career, your divine mission, what you're here to do. And when I say career, it doesn't necessarily mean a career where you are earning an income. It can actually be a nonprofit. It can be being a mentor. It can be many, many things. So just keep that in mind. Your divine mission is unbelievably rich. And of course, most of us want to bring in income, right? So income is incoming energy that you receive as a result of giving energy. It's an energy exchange. So for most of us, that is important. But what I'm saying is, if it's not necessary, don't see whatever you're doing as not being your divine mission. It's not dependent on that exchange. It's an exchange of energy with the universe, right? That's really what it is. So, of course, this means you're getting clarity on your purpose. Why are you here? And of course, that means it's another good reason to know your birth promise, your star code. So just go to starcodeclass.com. It's a free 90-minute class you can take to discover your divine blueprint. Now, the question becomes, how can you take advantage of this fantastic eclipse? Well, there is great news, because happening at the very moment of the Capricorn full moon eclipse is Venus opposite Saturn at exactly 16 degrees, while Venus is trine Neptune. So why is this so important? Well, Venus is helping you acclimate in a very gentle, beautiful way to the major shifts with the aid of beauty, pleasure, love, and prosperity. So Venus opposite Saturn is huge, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So when the ruler of an eclipse is engaged with another planet, it makes it even more important and dynamic. First of all, Venus likes creativity. Venus is very artistic. Saturn likes constriction and rules. So when these two planets are opposite each other, you may experience some restriction, some delay. And so just keep that in mind. Practice patience at all times. This is very important, because what's happening is that you need to use your creative resources, your inner creative resources, and put them to work in a diligent way. So this is an important time to spend more quality time by yourself and get that gift of yours into play, whatever that is. So you will be preparing the groundwork now for results, and trust me, there will be results if you do this. Wonderful, successful accomplishments in the future. So they will appear later. Remember, we are in a Mercury retrograde in July, so everything is infused with patience to begin with. So it's a great time with this opposition of Venus and Saturn to get organized about paying off any debts, and also to allow your serious feelings to be expressed. So if you're having a discussion, it may be, or a conversation, you can go to those bigger topics, the life topics. And so it won't feel so much like you want to have like cocktail party conversation, whatever that means to you. It's really more about taking your direction in life and your concerns and your goals and your dreams, really into putting them into the forefront. And Venus also means that you're going to feel a lot better if you spend time in beautiful environments. So beautify your home, beautify your work environment, wear beautiful clothes, whatever it is, it's got to be pleasurable. Now, the other transit is Venus trine Neptune, and Neptune is in Pisces, its own sign. And this is such a romantic transit. So it heightens your creativity in such a gorgeous way. You can daydream, you can tune into your imagination and just let it evolve, and your love life is just surging with sweet tenderness. It's such a lovely energy. So beautiful for romance, as your life in general also gets a surge of positive energy flow, so you can romance your life. It's not just about literal romance with your partner or prospective partner. It literally is about romancing and having that warm, tender energy about your daily life and your goals. So the way you express yourself takes on a new meaning with Neptune and Venus when they come together, because you use beautiful words, you use uplifting words, words that bring you pleasure, words that inspire you, inspiring language. So here's the thing you also want to look out for is, speaking of language, language is your tool of expression and the framework of what brings you meaning. And Venus, the ruler of Taurus and Libra, Venus governs language with others, Libra, and our throat. Taurus rules our throat. So how our voice sounds and what's coming out, what are we saying? And Venus opposite Saturn is asking you to use leadership language. That's what I'm calling it. So the words that you choose in general have a huge impact on determining how you perceive your life, how you perceive reality, how you perceive your past and your future and your present. And so there are words that I actually don't use anymore. For example, I'm allergic to the word problem. I don't like using the word problem, and I don't use it around my daughter. So I reframe that word, which to me, I'm not saying to you, but to me has a almost stifling effect, like a finite effect. There's no out with problem, and I reframe it and I create a different emotional state through my languaging. And I instead say a challenge that helps me grow instead of problem, or I say an opportunity, because that's what a problem is. A problem is an opportunity to explore something new. It's an opportunity in disguise. That's all it is. So using leadership language, positive language, is what you want to really look at. This is really important with Venus opposite Saturn. Now, Venus trine Neptune reminds you to use uplifting, spiritually nourishing, loving, optimistic words. Words that open infinite opportunities, because of Neptune. Neptune reaches everywhere. It's the water planet. It's the unconditional love planet. So loving language. And Venus trine Neptune also awakens language that is passionate, that is beautiful. So use this leadership language, use this loving language, use the language of possibility, not the language of shutting you down, right? Be very, very cognizant, be very conscious. You know, Saturn, Capricorn, this is a conscious sign. It's very aware of the impact of its decision-making process on the impending results that come later. And language drives your reality. So give yourself the language of permission. Give yourself the use of the language of love. Okay? Now, I want to give you a few more tips and takeaways for the next 6 months on how to put this amazing Capricorn full moon eclipse energy into really good use for your professional life and, of course, your personal life as well. And so the first thing is you want to keep tabs on your level of commitment to taking the lead in your life. So you want to involve yourself in every activity and task with complete commitment and confidence. So there are no excuses for the results that are happening, for what is going on in general in your life. You've got to take ownership, okay? Leadership has nothing to do with your job title. It has nothing to do with how big your studio or office is. It has only to do with your way of life. So it has nothing to do with how you dress. It has to do with how you design your life, how you act on your commitments that you made. If you have a list of goals or one particular project or goal What is your attitude towards? What's your inner resolve towards making it happen? So leadership is a state of mind. It's a philosophy. It is available to every person on this planet. Every person on this planet needs to own their inner leader, their loving authority. And so as a leader, what do? Well, you quickly diagnose a problem. You don't sit there and procrastinate. You assume personal responsibility as quick as possible, right? Because that will let go of the energy so you can move forward and you're not attached to the past. Leaders are not engaged in their past. They're engaged in their present. And that's how they make their future bright. So you make positive, proactive decisions quickly. Unless, of course, it's a huge decision. You want to sleep on it, you want to digest, that's fine, but you don't sit on it for months, right? And as a leader too, this big Capricorn gift that we have is to create boundaries. It's very important not to let everyone and everything into your life. So Saturn thrives on boundaries. Saturn actually needs to be careful, Capricorn and Saturn, to not create too many boxes, so they don't interrelate and everything's in its place. So that's the challenging part of Capricorn. But the boundaries are important if they're set with wisdom, because they will restrict distractions. Okay? So Capricorn gives you the discipline and courage to say no to everything and every person who would slow down or distract you from fulfilling your divine mission, what makes you happy. So Capricorn basically says if it's not mission critical, if it's not fulfilling you, it is dissolved and stripped away. And with Pluto in Capricorn, as I keep saying, Pluto has been in Capricorn for a few years, but is now coming up to that conjunction with the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn. Things are being stripped away. They have been for the last few years, but it's really coming to a head. So if you're leaving a situation or changing your goals, whatever it may be, make that mission your inspiration. Don't get hung up on what's not working, what's not happening, the uncertainty aspect of it. It's very strong right now. It's actually meant to be around you. So you want to be constantly reframing. And so another big takeaway is for you to embrace a word you may not use that much. And that word is success. So look at how many S's are in success. There are 3 S's. And in numerology, the S represents a winding road. And that is how success is created. It never is a straight line. It is about creating something and receiving feedback, being flexible, listening to the feedback, and committing to the journey itself, right? So there are surprises in the journey. Notice surprise starts with S as well. Success is a creative pursuit. And when you're in success mode, you have a healthy dose of confidence. So you trust your intuition. You trust that connection to source. So success doesn't have to be ego-driven. And I think this is why the word may not be in use as much as it really should be, especially now with this huge Capricorn influence. Because when your success is devoted to service, uplifting others, right? If you're committed to elevating others in the quest for success, then you're leaving every situation that you partake in, every relationship, every connection you partake in better than when you found it. And you leave your life. Your life is leaving something better than if you hadn't been born. That's a level of success that I'm talking about. So success needs to be merged with service. They're both S words. Spirit is an S word. Soul is an S word. So just understand that your journey with spirit, your co-creation with source, is really the highest form of success. And that is what spiritual leadership is, right? So this is where it all comes together now. What is making the human experience so exciting right now is that you have this yearning right now. Like, how can I feel successful while realizing my inner gifts? And in this way, living my life fully, where fulfillment is my partner along the way. You have to understand that you are here to shine. You are a star. Your star is within you, and that star is requesting to be lit up. Capricorn saying, okay, so where are you a star? What makes you a star? And I'm not talking ego-driven Hollywood. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how you feel like you can shine your inner light. How do you feel significant? Another S word, right? So watch the signs, watch the signals. This is all about success, right? They're activating you to be successful and to feel significant. A full moon is about feeling. This is an eclipse. So you want to really purge those feelings that don't make you feel significant and successful. And you want to welcome the new influx, the new projects, the new sense of direction, the soul-fulfilled purpose that you're here to manifest. Capricorn, manifest. Remember, you come from the stars, another S word. The stars, the sun, it's all there for you to shine. And everybody is born on this earth and comes from the mother, the womb, the Cancer, which is where the sun is, and then seeks to be significant in some way. So if you can remember to explore those topics, those takeaways, and also to explore your own star code and know what your destiny is, know what your purpose is, just based on your birthday and birth name, and discover some of the incredible numbers in your own astrology chart, which I also teach in that free masterclass at starcodeclass.com. It will help you to just tune in to that personal understanding of your soul vibration, right? What are you here to do in this lifetime? You were born to be here at this time. We need you, and we need you to feel significant. So with that, I end this episode of Star Codes. I wish you the most wonderful Capricorn eclipse, a beautiful mid-July and all of July, and I will see you in next week's episode. So much love.